is YouTube. If you're wondering why I got this hat on, howdy, or hee hee, or should I say, but I got it on because we got a little interesting video that I didn't know they had on YouTube. It's about the Walking Dead zombies, like how the outbreak started. I didn't know they gave this information away on this. I didn't even know how the outbreak started when I first started watching The Walking Dead. But this is my reaction to this. But anyway, like, bro, this is crazy. This is just like, it surprised the shit out of me, like, cause I always wondered how this outbreak started. You know how like Resident Evil got an outbreak and all that, but The Walking Dead, you just start with this guy coming out of a hospital with like everything going. He's a sheriff and all this other shit, and then he gets dressed and then zombies. It's like he the only one left, and then he finds other people and story goes on. But I'm finna see how it's, or we finna see how it started. So for those who don't already know, we about to get into it though. You know what I'm saying? It's freaking.
Hello everyone, I'm Josh from What Culture, and The Walking Dead, both the comic and the TV show, has always pitched itself as a different kind of zombie story. Back when the universe first kicked off, comic creator Robert Kirkman decided that he wanted to avoid all of the different cliches that the subgenre had leaned on in story after story before he started. Consequently, the narrative wasn't about the start of an apocalypse or about a bunch of survivors trying to stop something before it's too late and takes over the world. This was very much a post-apocalypse rather than an apocalypse, and the whys and hows of why everything started were kept deliberately vague or just never addressed at all to put viewers and readers in the same shoes as the characters. However, this meant never revealing exactly why the zombie outbreak happened in the first place, which you would imagine is a pretty big deal. From a story perspective though, not touching on this element actually fit the themes and the characters themselves. After all, it wouldn't make sense for this.
What I'm saying. They never mentioned it at all. All they did is do flashbacks of the life and all that, the life before the shit happens. They never told you how it happened. They just, oh, it's not like, oh, da 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 da. Oh, I was a sheriff. Da da da. Me and Dale was real cool. Like,
band of everyday survivors to suddenly acquire the knowledge behind why everything is the way it is. And perhaps even more importantly, it wouldn't benefit them to go searching for these answers either. They're a band of like rough and tumble warriors just trying to live day to day. They're not these top tier scientists trying to find a magical cure that will somehow save the entire world. This wasn't a story like that. Of course, that still hasn't stopped fans over the years agonizing over what could have been the root cause of everything going on and what could have caused the zombies themselves. Ever since the TV show brought the characters to the CDC back in 2010, giving them more knowledge about the nature of the virus than their comic counterparts ever had, fans have wondered whether or not the writers would ever go there and outright confirm exactly what happened. Well, after 10 years of
unless you about to tell us.
Theories, it seems as though the origins of the walkers might have finally been properly explained. And funnily enough, this explanation hasn't come in the mainline show. That's because the Walking Dead spin-off World Beyond recently aired its 7th episode and gave us the biggest piece of the puzzle yet. This episode flashes back to the very early first stages of the apocalypse, so far back in fact that the military is still kind of up and running. In fact, one military man in particular is shown talking about the origins of the zombie outbreak, implying that he heard from someone else that the virus actually came from space. He says, quote, "I heard it came back in a rocket, that it started in space, Somebody breathed it in, it turned their stomachs, and then they got on a plane. Of course, even in the context of the episode, this is very much kind of presented as a rumour, and the whole thing does have a my dad heard it from a mate who heard it from Bob down in construction kind of vibe to it, but strangely enough, it does also act as a reference to something Robert Kirkman said on Twitter earlier this year. That's because at the very start of 2020, the comic creator was just asked
A space spore. A space spore? Really? Like, for real? A space spore?
point blank on Twitter what caused the zombies, to which he simply replied, space spore. Now, I do want to stress that he did later admit that he was just messing around and that he was really kind of frustrated with everyone taking this at face value. However, it wouldn't be totally out of character for this notorious joker to just reveal something so big so flippantly on Twitter and then kind of just pass it off as a little joke. After all, he did once admit that he does know the source of the zombie outbreak and confirmed that it's dumb. Now, I don't know about you, but to me, a virus from out of...
We need to know this shit so it won't affect us in the real world, you know what I'm saying? You got an idea that's going to help us in the real world, prevent some of the zombie apocalypse that happened in 2012, even though it did, but it's just like, shit's still going on. And like, across the water, Africa and all that shit, they got the voodoo, you know, something like that. But like, hey, you not finna, keep it a secret with a space war. If a space war came down, I think they already detected that shit, but like, come on now. You gotta speak up.
Space certainly fits that bill. So he said he was joking, but this episode certainly does throw more gas onto that fire. Now, it's unlikely that the show itself or anyone involved will say definitively one way or another what caused the zombie outbreak, but for now, this idea of it coming from out of space is certainly the prevailing theory. And it makes sense coming in this way because The Walking Dead World Beyond has given us a much better look at the big picture of this universe than any of the other shows or even the comics. The series so far has already teased shady organizations and scientists potentially looking for a cure to help everyone. So if any of the shows were going to posit a proper theory for this mystery, it absolutely would be this one. And we know this lore is going to play into the Rick Grimes movie should they ever come out, which is again going to delve further into the bigger machinations of this story. So there you have it.
They making a movie about Homeboy, the main character. That's crazy. Yeah, like you said, if it does come out, like, you know. But that's very interesting. I would watch that too.
From outer space. Is that satisfying? I'm not entirely sure, but there is enough ambiguity there for you to not ascribe to this at came from outer space. Is that satisfying? I'm not entirely sure, but there is enough ambiguity there for you to not ascribe to this at all if you don't want to and don't find that interesting. But it has been thrown out as a pretty solid theory for people who want answers to this mystery to attach themselves to and finally have, I guess, some kind of closure. Ultimately, though, I want to know what you guys think down in the comments below. Do you think this is an interesting explanation, or do you just think it's a joke at our expense for reading way too much into what Robert Kirkman says? Either way, while you're down there, could you give us a like, share, subscribe, and head over to whatculture.com for more lists and news like this every single day. Even if you don't, though, I've been Josh. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you soon.
You know what? Thank you for clearing that up, because like the last thing you said, it was dumb. But like James at World Culture, or James, whichever one you are, thank you for clearing that up. Cause bruh, I had no clue. Like, even if they did have a explanation, or did, it seems like they don't. They just had this shit, but a space spawn, that's the only thing they could come up with. But okay, it's alright. I'll take the space spawn for right now, but I'm still with the government shit. Like, you know, they injected somebody with something like on Resident Evil, and then zombies. But hey, it is what it is. I mean, it is just a show, a good ass show at that. But it has a lot of, real life shit that could happen. Like you got the voodoo and damn, what is it? The witchcraft. Well, the witchcraft is voodoo, but like it's basically like voodoo and witchcraft and like spiritual shit. That like almost half of the world don't believe in, but like it's there. If I can control your mind while you dead, or like at least half dead, like with some medical shit, then zombie. You know what I'm saying? Zombie. But make sure y'all like, comment, subscribe. You know what it is. It's the main man Ghost. Come on now. Like, comment, subscribe. I'll catch y'all in the next one. Peace.